Steve Austin back in the day. You worked with him in WCW, and he was Stunning Steve.
Yeah.
And I think you tagged with him a few times.
Well, he had the long blonde hair, and then they became the new Hollywood Blondes or something with somebody else.
Pillman, Brian Pillman.
Okay, Brian Pillman, there you go. Saw that biography, that was shocking. Actually, when I was leaving the big time and going independent and all that, I think Stunning Steve went to ECW. Then he landed in New York and did fantastic there. Always a nice guy. I always had a good friendship with him. A man's man. Drew a lot of money, still big time name. It was a whole different deal. He brought, was that the Attitude Era that he was in there?
Yeah.
That was the Attitude Era.
95, 96 he came in after
Yeah. So he popped a beer and stand on it. Hell yeah. Tremendous. He did tremendous. Shaved his head, got rid of that blonde hair, and he went for it. Did you ever see this movie with Woody Harrelson? He was just a badass shooting everybody up, and he shaved his head for this movie. And I really think that's where Steve Austin got that gimmick from.
I guess you mentioned Brian Pillman. You also tagged with him too. And you wrestled him one-on-one a few times when you were with Dick Slater.
When I saw that Viceland thing they did on him, I said, oh my God. I wasn't in the WWF when he went in there, and I wasn't around him that much, just that few times in WCW. And I couldn't believe what that poor guy went through, you know. He was a little bit small, but he had a lot of intestinal fortitude and a lot of, he had a lot of swag, and he was going to get over one way or another. And it kind of put him down because he was a little small. But he rose to the occasion, but he took it to a limit. Oh, my God. I mean, went over the limit. And, having that horrific car crash or something, and then he made it back to the ring after that. I couldn't imagine that.
With a shattered, was it ankle?
Oh, my God. I mean, that poor guy. I mean, he was out there, though. Whoa! He was really out there.
I don't know if it's this experience. It seemed like it looking at it, but did you see a lot of guys that would portray a gimmick and then live it so long that they actually became the gimmick, or it was hard to decipher from real life person and the actual character?
Yeah, this wrestling business is rough, and you got to leave it in the ring. Sometimes you bring it with you, bring it on the road, or bring it into a hotel or a restaurant, and you gotta change that, and they get so engrossed in their character and everything. And Brian Pillman, this guy was intense. Did he ever relax? That's the thing. I'd like to go back to the room and just relax and get away from that. And there's so many guys that couldn't let that go. When you come back home, you got a family, and you got to take the boots off and relax and try to, You got to separate that. From what I gathered from him, he couldn't. And there's been some other guys, too. I couldn't separate it.
You hear about people on Broadway, too, that play characters for years and years, and then they become that, and then they can't switch back, and then they kind of...
And you're trying to shut that off, like say you're on an airplane or you're walking through the airport and the fans see you and they come right up and you're brought right back into that. You just want to relax, It's hard, real hard. It's hard to turn it off. Thank God I didn't have a problem with that. So I just say hi and bye. Never turn down an autograph. Someone come right up in the middle of a meal and I'd say, well, what the heck, a lot of times I'd say, come back when I'm done eating, but some guys would be rude to them. These are, it's funny. Ray Stevens, I was Ray Stevens' partner in the Mid-Atlantic. I learned a lot from this guy. And he'd say, Greg, those are paying customers. You got to sign an autograph for them. So, he had that belief. And they were, Do you mind if you can't be rude to those people. They're big fans. There's a lot of movie stars and there's baseball players and people in football that I've been around that are rude. And you can't do that. Those are your fans. You can't be rude. What's it going to take? Greg Valentine. There you go.
For the people that don't know too, just these interviews here, just coming up in the hotel and coming up to the room,
right?
You always get stopped, and I've never seen you be rude to any of these fans. You always take the time to say something nice and at least acknowledge them,
Yeah, and it's been, I don't know how long it's been since I've been in the ring. I've been on national TV a lot, but yeah, it's just like, to me, everybody's nice to me, number one. It's a compliment, number two, that they still know me and they appreciate my work and they always talk about my work, And yeah, it's a compliment. You got to take it as a compliment. What the hell? I've been wrestling since 1970, and what year is it now? 2021, and they still recognize me? What a compliment. And thank God I still look like myself, That's part of it. I still have my hair,
Yeah, it's not dyed black anymore. So